You have written somewhere, Narayan Murthy's amount to anti-national. They are just yuppies, neo-rich, social climbers, desperate for social validation. You're so right. These are the people who give grants for chairs and not for any love of knowledge, but just to get into the inner circle. So what do you have to say for these kind of Indians who are still struggling to get Western validation?
So, unfortunately, it's an inferiority complex is almost the story of India. I honestly don't know what happened 200, 300 years back that it broke our sort of self-confidence. For the last 3.5, 4,000 years, if you look at our history, we literally sought validation from nobody. There was architecture going on, there was art going on, there was philosophy going on in the rest of the world, and we didn't really give a damn. But in the last 200 years, it switched so completely that we produce nothing by ourselves and we seek perpetually from outside, right? So these are both two extremes. They're both unhealthy. So, even this extreme isolationism that we practiced was unhealthy, and this extreme craving for everything Western is also unhealthy. But the Narayana Murthis, if you look at it, they're a classic family of social climbers. Yuppies who had nothing till a generation back, who suddenly came into a lot of wealth. And their story, in a sense, is the story of India as well, right? You come into wealth, and what do you seek? You seek the validation of people who can give you a certain, patina of so-called sophistication. You have no sophistication of your own. So, you borrow sophistication from somebody else. It's sort of, agar main बॉलीवुड के पार्टी में गई तो मैं भी रवीना टंडन करके एक ये आ जाता है
page 3 seekers.
हाँ, exactly. So, but you look at everything that this family has done, be it, getting their kids married off into into established families for the purposes of social climbing, son and daughter, the son then endows something at some US university with a professor who's notorious for his anti-India. I think it's Pollock or somebody, isn't it?
Sheldon Pollock, Narayan Murthy Library.
Correct. Yeah. So they are the biggest funders of wire through that public intellectuals or public, I don't know, whatever that they got Ramchandra Guha to be the chairman of the board of. Yes. Again, it's purchasing social validation. Now, in the good old days, we used to call people like this prostitutes. Today, we call them the Narayana Murthis. एक ज़माने में
बहुत strong बात बोल रहे हैं.
But it's the truth. It's the truth. एक ज़माने हम लाल बत्ती इलाका बुलाते थे, आज हम इन्फोसिस बुलाते हैं. ठीक है ना? एक जमाने में क्या होता था कि ये सब लोगों को बाहर रखा जाता था कि छू 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 निकल बाहर, यहाँ से चपरासी लोग निकल निकल. आजकल वो कॉन्फ्रेंस में बुला के ये कोई फिलैंथ्रोपिस्ट पता नहीं क्या क्या ये करते हैं. तो ये सब बहुत होते रहता है इन लोगों को. I mean, look at the fellow. He looks like a pickpocket at a bus stand. What better do you expect from him? This is that sort of, and it tells you a lot about the Indian right, that we're still not able to provide the kind of social validation, these sort of aspirational goals that these people require. That when they've made money, they now need social acceptance. And how do you get social acceptance? It's through, you have to throw a lot of money at them. Because you remember in the olden days, what used to happen was you could be a very good king. And if you did not throw money at scribes and poets and literary folks, you would be called a Dushta Raja or something like that, or you would be completely forgotten. And useless kings who used to subsidize even the worst kind of poetry would get claimed to be the greatest noble of kings and etc. etc. Look at Chandragupta and Bimbisara. They believed in conserving public resources and not wasting it on artists and poets and things like that. Were any stories written about them? No.
No.
But Ashoka went on throwing money at the Buddhist Sangha, and they created this whole body of literature around him, claiming that he was the greatest king ever, even though he was the worst king of the Mauryas.
Yes,
the Maurya Empire
correct.
collapsed during his reign.
Yes.
You can see the economic collapse in the coinage from that period.
Correct.
So this is what happens, it's literally a marketplace of the flesh and of the mind.